tell from the Centaur, my biggest thing isn't, it's not the oscillators or the filter or any of that stuff. My entire life has been on what can you do with it. My forte is throwing voltages around and control voltages and doing things with control voltages. The left-hand keyboard on the Centaur is a real good representation of that. You can do stuff with that left-hand keyboard that even 30 years later people can't do. That's just where my head is. I don't know why, that's where I am. So because of that, I have 3 new modules that, oddly enough, are various forms of controllers. First one is this 4x gate delay right here. This was actually the first module I built for this system. After I got it all together, I'm sitting there looking at it going, well, this module is really cool, and I prototyped it, and I realized that it doesn't do a damn bit of good if you don't have a bunch of envelopes and VCAs, so it needs a larger system to really be effective, but it's still a cool module. But what it does is it takes a gate voltage in the input, and green LED lights up when it's present, and you can set 4 delay channels. So once you hit a gate voltage on there, you can program these different delay channels out. So if you got sequential things you want to do, you got 3 oscillators tuned to some sort of triad, so that as soon as you hit it at some point in time, you got harmony kicking in or something like that. It allows you to do that, and this thing's a little tight. I got some smaller value pots on here, so it goes to about 29 seconds. For grins, I threw one about 10 times bigger. These go to about 4.5 minutes, but they're really hard if you want a short cycle. So I'm trying to decide what's feasible. But this one's really tight. But so I designed it so if you had a gate voltage controlling this thing, let's see, where does my gate go? It's right here. It goes round, round, round. This is why I don't like modulars. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so anytime you hit a gate on here, these things will kick in at whatever time interval you got to trigger whatever you got going on, as long as you got the gate held down. So if you want to do something real quick with a couple of those and then hold off so you get that minor 7th in the octave in there, you can do that. You know, by holding it longer. But while I was sitting there going, well, I should throw this in here and show it to people, I added a pot on here, and it's a sensitivity pot. So you can sit there and be playing all these keys down here. Right now I got it set up so I hit this this B right here, it does nothing, but as soon as I hit that C or above, it triggers in on whatever key I set it for. So as long as you're playing up here, and then as soon as you drop below that, it kicks off again. So you can be doing some ripping lead lines and stuff, then have your harmony come in when you hit that high C, you know. So it's just another controller, you know, and it's up to your brain to decide what you want to do with it. So, well, it's kind of unique. I've never seen anything like it, but I always wanted one, but I don't have enough modules to do anything with it. But that was one of them. That's the first one. It's called the 4x gate delay. I will be developing it. I will be manufacturing it. I have no idea what it's going to cost. I have no idea how I'm going to market it, but stay tuned. Keep an eye on my website, and wherever Matrix is, keep an eye on his site, because he likes to, oh, there he is.
Everything goes up.
Here, let me take these off. I can't see anyway. But anyway, the second module I came up with, I have a friend back east that he ordered an envelope generator and a VCO a long time ago. He's helped me out. I've known the guy since I was touring with Starship, but we remained buddies a long time. The guy has all sorts of modulars and stuff, and he heard I was doing this, and to support me, he says, okay, well, how about an envelope generator and an oscillator? I said, well, okay. And so I sent them to him as soon as I got the oscillators done, and he wrote me back and said, you know, that's really great. Except he does a lot of ambient style stuff, doesn't use a keyboard and all that stuff. And he says, the only thing I would recommend would be putting some sort of manual gate trigger push button on the envelope. Well, there's 2 things. I got a repeat function decay and the sustain are out of the loop at that point. But it's level based. It's based on the descending level of the release. So the ratio of the attack and the release remain the same. It'll pick up the frequency and the repetition rate by doing that. And people are going, well, why'd you do that? And I said, because it's different. It's a totally sideways thinking way of doing that. And they said, well, what if I want a timed repetition? I go, well, take a pulse out of your LFO and run it in there and do it that way. So this gives you an added dimension, and you can still do a timed repetition repeat by using an LFO. So that's an option. But anyway, I designed, or actually I told Scott over here that I wanted it set up so that if you push both channel buttons simultaneously on the MIDI, it latches the gate out, so you can open up your envelopes, and which is exactly what I had in mind. And I was thinking about this guy while I did that, and but he only ordered an envelope and an oscillator, and MIDI was out of the question because he doesn't use keyboards. So I designed up really quick, which took me less time to design up, and it took me to talk about this so far, but this little module here, which this guy named Utility 1 because I didn't know what to call it, but basically it's just that. It's a push button gate, which is real easy to do. You push this button and it provides a gate out for as long as the button's pushed right here. Well, while I was sitting there, I'm going, well, you know, people don't want to just sit there with their hand on the button. They're probably going to want a latched output too, so I threw a flip-flop in there. So every time you push this button and let go, this latches on. So now you got a latched gate. And since I had another half of a flip-flop, and so this is just push on, push off. Every time this thing goes on and off twice, this comes on and goes off. And I still had half a flip-flop, and I said, well, how about a half latched gate? So